Hunter and I grew up side by side, 10 years of dating, and at last we'd gone from school uniforms to a wedding gown. The night before the engagement I walked in on him cheating with his secretary. Serena's just for show, you're the one I cherish. Once you give me a son, Vance and Sterling will both belong to him. I pulled back the hand that was about to push the door open, turned, and dropped the soup I'd simmered myself into the trash. Then I called my business partner. Caldwell, care for a merger of the marital kind? The sort where two titans team up? Before we go any further, subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. As soon as the Sterlings set the engagement date, I fast-tracked the buyout proposal. I flew home 2 days before the ceremony, wanting to surprise Hunter. After unpacking, I slowly stewed a pot of chicken soup and carried it to Pier. Hunter's office lights were on. The door wasn't shut tight. Through the crack I heard a woman's breathy moans and the click of heels on tile. Hunter, not here. Scared? Pretty soon this whole terminal will be ours. I froze outside. It was Hunter and his secretary, Brianna. What about Serena? Brianna's voice broke between gasps. She's just window dressing. Vance needs Sterling's money, Sterling needs Vance's births. Once we're married and the operating rights are locked in, she's worthless. Brianna giggled. Then why marry her? The old man insists on the alliance. I've play-acted for years, I'm not walking away empty-handed. Relax. After you give me a son, Vance and Sterling will all belong to that kid. I set the thermal jar down gently. 4 hours of simmering inside. I pulled out my phone, switched to video, and filmed the tangled bodies on the desk through the blinds. The clip autosaved to the cloud. Done, I wheeled around and dropped the jar in the garbage. Broth splashed across the floor. I drew my phone again and dialed. Caldwell, it's Serena. A short silence. See, Vance? Interested in a merger? The powerhouse kind. Phoenix chuckled low. Thought you were marrying Hunter tomorrow. Business is business, I picked the optimal partner. I said. Caldwell wants into mainland shipping, Vance owns the best terminals. Whatever Sterling can give, I can match, plus extras they can't. Tempting, he answered after a beat. But I don't like taking advantage. It's win-win. I corrected him. Tomorrow I'll call off the engagement. You have a week to decide. I hung up, walked into the dockside bar and ordered a full bottle of Glenfiddich. Shot after shot. Alcohol burned my throat, my mind stayed crystal clear. Hunter, Brianna, nobody hustles Serena and gets away with it. I stayed till closing, then went home. A shower couldn't knock me out, so I sat on the living room rug building Lego. The Titanic. At dawn Hunter came in, jacket over his shoulder. You're back early, he smiled. Didn't you fly in tomorrow? Seeing the model, he relaxed. Remember our first Titanic night? You said you wanted love like that. I snapped the final brick onto the bow. Good night? I glanced up. Looks like the Sterling heir had fun. He loosened his tie and squatted beside me. Serena, we're adults. Some things don't need airing. He reached to stroke my cheek. I turned away. A blind eye is a required skill for every society wife, he said lightly. We haven't even collected our license and you've quit the act? I lifted the finished ship, bow pointing his way. His grin stuck. You're reading me wrong. We grew up together, more than a decade. You'll always be the one I love. Crack. I snapped the bow off and let it fall. I met his gaze. Hunter, Serena has standards. Anything, or anyone, touched by another hand is trash to me. And trash belongs in the garbage. The muscles in his face twitched. He forced a laugh. Get some rest. I'll shower and head to the office. Tonight we'll talk. He disappeared into the bathroom. When he re-emerged I was dressed and fully up. Today we both go to Riverside. He frowned. You just landed, our engagement is the day after tomorrow. Unless it's urgent, let's wait until 10 a.m., Riverside conference room, I cut in. Emergency board meeting. What are you doing, Serena? His color drained. Alert both families, every director. I speed dialed my assistant. Call ended, I told him, show or don't, that's your choice. He came anyway. At 10 the room was packed. I walked in with my legal team. Hunter sat opposite, face dark. Sterling Sr. was present. He shot me a look, I ignored it. Everyone's here. I took the head seat. Only one item, this. I clicked the remote. The blinds lit footage filled the screen, moans, slammed desk, Brianna's face, Hunter's voice. Once she gives me a son, Vance and Sterling will belong to that kid. The room exploded. Turn it off. Sterling slammed the table. Hunter's complexion was chalk. I killed the feed. I, Serena, hereby announce, my engagement to Hunter is void. Sterling leapt up. Serena, this is a misunderstanding. The partnership, I raised a hand. Counsel slid documents across. Per the prenuptial addendum, I read aloud, infidelity by Hunter constitutes material breach. Therefore Vance may unilaterally reclaim the 10% terminal stake granted to Sterling. Hunter jumped up. Those shares are mine. Authorized, not deeded, I corrected. Black and white. I turned to Sterling Sr. You countersigned, sir. The old man collapsed into his chair. Chaos broke out. Someone shouted, Sterling stock is nosediving. On the big screen the ticker showed a 7% plunge. Hunter lunged and gripped my wrist. Serena, over 10 years together. One lousy fling and you torch both families? I twisted his arm and pinned him to the table. It's not both families burning, just yours. Silence fell. I leaned in, lips to his ear. I warned you, I don't do dirty. You're spoiled goods, so I'm tossing you out. And you'll never board the Vance ship again. I really said him, smoothed my jacket. Meeting adjourned. I left Pier and headed for Vance. As I stepped from the car, a black Maybach blocked my path. The window glided down. Phoenix gave a half smile. Vance, get in. I opened the door and slid inside. The car pulled away. Phoenix rested an arm on the sill. Impressively ruthless, he tapped the glass. Enjoyed the show. Hope the price of admission was worth it, Caldwell. Spectacular. He inclined his head. So, still proposing? Standing offer. City Hall, Phoenix told the driver. The car veered off. We exchanged only 3 sentences en route. Phoenix spoke first, straight talk. I need a wife to stop family nagging. I shrugged. I need a heavyweight to slap my ex in the face. Phoenix chuckled. Deal. Minutes later, the City Hall door swung open. Photos, signatures, certificates, done. Total time, under 20 minutes. The red booklet landed in my hand. Phoenix glanced at it and passed it over. Keep it safe. He led me back to the car. Where to? I asked. Celebration, he answered. A helicopter lifted us to Eastbrook. We touched down at Pier, then stepped onto his private yacht. Victoria's neon carpet glittered below. I slid Hunter's 3-carat pink diamond off my left ring finger and pitched it into the black water. Phoenix handed me a flute of champagne. Congratulations, Caldwell. Congratulations to you too, Caldwell. Clink. He raised an eyebrow. Wedding gift for my bride, check the news later. I smiled, already guessing. That night Twitter exploded. Number 1 Vance CEO Serena flashweds Number 2 Harbor Tycoon Phoenix Number 3 Power Couple of the Century photos. Our backs at the counter, plus a full explainer on Phoenix's empire. I scrolled until a clip from Phoenix popped up. VIP room, Shanghai bar, Hunter losing his mind. It's just a broken engagement, I'm still Sterling's CEO. Vance? Serena? Nobody. Bitch. Bottle after bottle shattered, 30 grand Roman each. Serena, he roared. You want war? Dream on. Waitresses fro. Z in the corridor, Brianna reached for his arm. Hunter, calm down, smack, he backhanded her. Get out. This is your fault. She fled, cheeks crimson, while he uncorked another bottle and drank straight from the neck. Phoenix murmured, Caldwell, your taste used to be tragic. I locked the screen and grinned. Youthful stupidity happens to the best of us. At least you cut your losses fast. Exactly. To our partnership, Caldwell. To our partnership, Caldwell. To speed the merger, we skipped the engagement circus and threw the wedding straight away. The day after the ceremony, Caldwell rode Vance's network onto the mainland market. Side by side, Phoenix and I snatched 3 major contracts out from under Hunter. He trash-talked us on social media, we never replied. 6 months slid by. Asian rolled around again. On the red carpet, Phoenix's arm circled my waist, camera lightning erupted. I wore black silk pinned with the Caldwell heirloom sapphire named Star. Nervous? He whispered. Not the one who should be. We took our seats at the head table. In the corner, Hunter clutched a champagne glass. Brianna, in snow white, pretended elegance. Tonight she planned to wow the crowd as the young carbon-neutral scholar. Sterling's cash was bleeding. This speech was their Hail Mary. Too bad I never let the other team score. The MC beamed. Please welcome Brianna on Portside Carbon Innovation. She clicked the remote, then froze. Her slides had been swapped for receipts, plagiarized paragraphs, doctored data, stolen Harvard graphics. The room erupted. No wonder Sterling's tanking, they prop up parrots. Birdbrain was Hunter's side piece, he dumped the Vance heiress for that. Whispers turned to roars, Brianna's face strained. These aren't my slides. She stammered, hammering the keyboard, each click dumped more proof. I rose. Need help? Every lens pivoted as I mounted the stage and took the mic. In fluent English I dissected each fraud. Page 4 copied from a 2013 Harvard P. Ward study, page 6 lifted from Vance's proprietary data, page 9 ripped off its Tsinghua paper. The academic committee chair stood. Young is revoked, effective immediately. Security unclipped the metal from her trembling lapel. Hunter, she whimpered. He charged the stage, Phoenix blocked him. Sterling, a word? Your fleet exceeded carbon caps, the fine letter hits your desk tomorrow. Don't be late. Hunter's jaw twitched. Phoenix smiled wider. Now you may escort your scholar out. Hunter dragged Brianna through the gauntlet of flashes. I lingered at the podium. While I'm here, Vance is launching the $10 billion Green Shipping Fund. Real talent only. The hall detonated in applause. Phoenix lifted his glass from below. I answered with a small nod. Hunter, Brianna, your nightmare has barely begun. After Asian, Sterling became a punchline. Shares hit limit down for a week, market cap down 10 billion. To stanch the bleeding, Sterling announced a lithium ore shipping mega contract. But the route required Caldwell's peer, my peer. I demanded Hunter himself negotiate. Triple market rent. I slid the quote across. You're robbing me, Serena. Take it or leave it. He sat, teeth clenched. Plus a 50 million emission bond. That clause doesn't exist. It does now. He slammed the door, then caved 3 days later. Signing day, his face was storm cloud black. One lousy affair and you wipe out my family? I signed with a flourish, still smiling. Sterling's margin on the deal, negative. Next morning my phone buzzed. Lana, we don't have to be enemies. Meet me where we first kissed, tonight 8 p.m. Phoenix appeared behind me. Visiting old flames, Caldwell? I tilted my head. Worried, Caldwell? Color brushed his ears. I have a dinner, can't play chaperone. Be careful. At 8 I stepped onto the pier overlook, our first date spot. Hunter turned, eyes red. Lana, I'm sorry. I was weak, stupid. I know that now. Sterling, it's Caldwell now. I cut him off. He gave a bye. Terse smile. We were so good together. 10+ years, you're really going to erase them just like that? Ancient history. He stepped closer. Lower the emission bond, please? Not happening. I didn't hesitate. Think of the decade we shared. Hunter still refused to quit. I laughed, pulled the star pendant from my bag. The 18th birthday gift he'd given me. Here, take it back. He froze. You said you loved me. I tossed the necklace at him. Turns out it wasn't even worth the interest. The chain hit the floor, he bent to grab it. I turned and walked away. From the shadows Phoenix appeared. Enjoy the show? I asked. Thought you had a dinner? He slipped an arm around my shoulders. Business drinks don't rate next to my wife. Home. The instant the door shut, Phoenix pinned me against it. Warm breath fanned my face. Caldwell, I think I'm actually jealous. Can I make this official? His voice dropped, all velvet temptation. I studied those perfect brows, looped my arms around his neck. Depends on how well you behave, doesn't it? He accepted the invitation, lowered his mouth to mine. Temperature spiked. After a night of carnal acrobatics, a phone ripped me from sleep. Serena. What the hell, reneging already? It was Hunter. Hunter, are you insane? It's dawn, let people dream. I snarled, morning fumes intact. The contract is signed and now you're gouging prices. Phoenix plucked the phone before he could finish. It's my call. Phoenix. Bump the emission bond another 10%, Phoenix said, glacial. Caldwell Terminals, Sterling ships, permanent back of the line. If Sterling objects, tear up the deal. I won't even ask for penalties. He ended the call and looked at me. I'm petty, knowing that guy used to be my wife's boyfriend ruins my day. I nodded. Definitely petty. Other parts are huge, though. Care for another test drive, Caldwell? He murmured at my ear. Get lost. Stung, Hunter counterattacked. He took Brianna on a media tour. Between the lines. They painted me as the fickle villain, blamed the broken Sterling Vance engagement on me, claiming I ditched Hunter the moment Phoenix's crown prince status caught my eye. They bankrolled clickbait bloggers and bought armies, smearing me as jealous, small-minded, oppressing brilliant juniors. Within hours hashtag Serena Golddigger and hashtag academic bully were trending. Photos showed me on the Maritime Gala stage. Comment sections boiled. Talentless and insecure, how toxic can one woman be? She's a carcinogen in our industry. Boycott Vance, don't let this tyrant win. Sterling kept feeding the furnace, pushing the story to fever pitch. I'll have our team crush this, Phoenix said, tablet in hand, face thunderous. No. I shook my head. I'll handle it myself. I told my assistant to tease an announcement. Tonight at 8 I'd go live. When the clock hit 8, I started the live stream. A million viewers poured in instantly. Regarding the trash talk, 3 quick clarifications. I opened a plagiarism analysis. 1. Brianna's cheating is ironclad. Side-by-side color-coded evidence filled the screen. 2. The paper I published as sole author as an undergrad. I flashed the original PDF and citation record. 3. I stared into the lens. I took over Vance at 18. In 10 years I've quintupled assets. I need a man for that? Bullet comments exploded. Queen. Face slap of the century. Now that's a resume. I arched a brow at the sea of praise. Finally, a little bonus content. The feed rolled security footage, Hunter and Brianna entwined on an office couch. Audio was uncensored, every moan and pledge floated out. Comments detonated. Holy, this is marry the family then kill the family level scheming. Trash deserves the landfill. If Sterling isn't bankrupt tomorrow, every viewer here has failed. I hate airing dirty linen, but I won't swallow smears, I added. Hunter tried to dunk me in mud, keep dreaming. I've said my piece, draw your own conclusions. Bye for now, maybe forever. I cut the broadcast. Within and 3 hashtag MX $7 ALAQ / hashtag CKB FI% %0/1 at I0102 FQ0 at asterisk hashtag plus 223 tours RDC1 hashtag RL J-8 M7 FPEB equals FR%2 at K D at %C% I.9 D 8 FHBQ at L at C plus G 3 3B442 O hashtag dollar at MH 7F sharp 2 R3 L smiley face R1 Q%5% hashtag 0 RL%0 at 37 FK6 plus if the Sterlings need new management. The vote was unanimous. My proposal passed without a single dissenting ballot. Sterling was yanked from the boardroom in that same breath. Sterling crumpled on the spot. Hunter leveled a shaking finger at me. Serena, why? How could you do this to me? So I messed around behind your back. Every guy in our circle keeps a few songbirds on the side. And face it, without me you never would have climbed high enough to meet Phoenix. I looked him dead in the eye, every word carved in ice. Correct, you only cheated. Out of our childhood friendship I was prepared to let that slide. But Hunter, what you should never have done was scheme against me and try to swallow the Vance family whole. You actually dreamed that the bastard you made with Brianna would inherit my family's empire. Who gave you that kind of gall? Hunter's face strained, no comeback came. Throw them out, I called to security. The Sterling clan was hustled onto the sidewalk. Sterling would never rise again, the thought tasted sweet. I drove to pier to inspect the fleet myself. Hunter came roaring up in a speedboat, leapt aboard, and pressed a knife to my throat. Don't move. He dragged me onto the speeding craft. An hour later I was tied to a chair on a derelict cruise ship. What do you want? I demanded. Mutual annihilation, he snarled, eyes bloodshot. I'm finished, so you're coming down with me. He knotted the rope tighter. Serena, why be so petty? If you just kept quiet and married me, we'd be the perfect power couple by now. Even if you couldn't stomach it, we'd already broken the engagement. Why drive Sterling into the ground? Hunter, you struck first, I answered coolly. The ink on our cancellation wasn't dry before you smeared my name. With a roar he raised the blade. I palmed the panic button on my watch, one click sent my GPS. What are you doing? He spotted the twitch. Nothing. He ripped the watch off and smashed it. No tricks. Give it up, Hunter, I urged. Let me walk away and I won't press charges. Kidnapping me in broad daylight? You can't escape. If I die, you'll forfeit your life. Sterling is already finished. If you go down too, your parents will have nothing left. That last barb struck home. He stood there, knife trembling, silence stretching. Reading the hesitation, I pushed again. Name another demand, anything. Before he could answer, sirens wailed outside. Phoenix led a marine police cordon around the hull. Hunter, let her go, he shouted from the bow. Stay back or I toss her over. Hunter dragged me to the rail. Phoenix froze. Hurt her and you lose everything, tell me what you want. Hunter burst into crazed laughter. In that split second a shadow vaulted from the flank, planting a kick in Hunter's ribs. Hunter flew sideways, the knife clattered across the deck. Phoenix sprinted forward and crushed me to his chest. Officers swarmed, pinning a screaming Hunter face down. Serena, you tricked me again. Finish me or I'll be back. I scooped up the blade, studied him one icy second, then hurled it into the sea. You're not worth staining my hands. The cops hauled him away in cuffs. Adrenaline drained, the world spun, and I collapsed. Lands. Phoenix scooped me up. I woke in a hospital bed. Phoenix hadn't left my side. You okay? You scared me to death. I'm fine, I whispered, smiling. He cupped my face and kissed me hard. Caldwell, am I officially hired for life? I nodded. Congratulations, permanent position approved. A week after Hunter's incarceration, Sterling called a press conference. On behalf of Sterling, I sever all ties with Hunter. She bowed to the cameras. I offer CEO Vance my sincerest apology. A reporter pressed, what's next for Sterling? Her voice cracked. Sterling no longer exists. That afternoon I signed the debt-to-equity swap on behalf of Caldwell. Sterling was formally renamed Stellar. I stood before the tower as media swarmed. Vance, how does it feel to become the first female head of a century-old enterprise? I looked straight into the lens. Entirely deserved. Applause exploded. Meanwhile, inside a prison visiting room, Hunter wore an orange jumpsuit. The guard announced, visitor. Brianna stepped in. Hunter. He saw her flat stomach and paled. Brianna, where's the baby? Where's my child? You still want a kid? She laughed in his face. You're worthless. Away from Serena and the Van Escher nothing. You got me blacklisted from academia and ruined my career, and you expect me to birth your spawn? Dream on, loser. Bitch, he roared, veins bulging. After everything I gave you? I earned every penny for putting up with you all those years, she spat. I'm here as courtesy, I aborted it. You're the father, thought you should know. She spun on her heel and left. Hunter stared after her, then slid to the floor, hollow. I never gave her another thought. Irrelevant people don't rate space in my head. One weekend I took Phoenix back to Belmont. The lecture hall hadn't changed. I found my old desk, the carving Serena Heartsuit Hunter was still there. I pulled out a pocket knife and neatened the letters. Phoenix read the fresh inscription aloud. Serena Heartsuit Ocean. Deep, right? I teased. He nodded. Way better than the original. We walked out into perfect sunshine. Where to now? He asked. Home. Our home? Obviously. Hand in hand we left, the newly carved letters glinting behind us. 3 months later, the maiden voyage of the new vessel Serena. Press boats packed Victoria. Phoenix stood at the ship's wheel. He placed the spokes in my grip. Captain, your ship. He met my eyes. Command me for life. I took the wheel, grinning. Caldwell, let's keep this boat, and our marriage, unsinkable. The Serena eased away from the quay, sea breeze in our hair. Sunlight bathing the deck. Mid-harbor I idled the engines. What's wrong? Phoenix asked. I let go of the wheel and pulled a ring box from my pocket. The diamond caught the sun. Phoenix, I said, will you let me etch your name into my family tree? The yacht rocked gently on the swell. He blinked, then smiled. The honor's mine. He lifted me up and kissed me hard. Together we closed our hands over the wheel. Serena surged forward, sun glittering on the waves. My life had set sail once more, this time with me as master and commander. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story, like and share, and tell us your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more. See you next episode.